Welcome to our virtual classroom, where we're going to teach you some important test-taking skills. Let's talk about some techniques. First, ask.
Yes,
How many questions are on the test?
there's 100.
And we have 2 hours?
That's correct.
So before the test begins, ask how many questions and how long do you have? Once you do that, do a quick calculation. Take the number of minutes, divide it by the number of questions. This tells you how long you have for each particular question. So let's say you're on a particular question and you've used half of the allotted time and you still don't know. Put a little mark next to it, skip it, and go back to it later. Oh, but if you're using a Scantron form, make sure that you mark it there too, because you don't want to answer number 11's question on number 10's line. So our next technique is dump. There's a lot of things that we have trouble remembering. It could be a list of names, formulas, or a mnemonic device you actually use to remember things. Whatever it may be, look at it right up until the test begins, and then dump it on the test sheet or the blue book or a sheet of paper. And that way, if you forget, you have it right there. But never ever dump before a test begins. That would be cheating, and that can earn you a failing grade or worse, expulsion from school. So our next technique is scan. You want to look through the test quickly so you can get kind of a lay of the land, and you want to know what kind of questions there are and how many points they're worth. Because wouldn't you hate it if you spent all your time on the first 3 pages of multiple choice and you didn't leave enough room for the essay questions, which are usually worth twice as many points? See, scanning helps you avoid situations like that. Now that we've discussed the overall approach to the test, let's talk about some of the questions themselves. First, I want to introduce you to 2 terms that I'm going to use in this section, the stem and the distractors. The stem is the first part of the question. The distractors are the choices or the answers. So read the stem to yourself and try to answer the question before you even look at the distractors. And this helps you to narrow down your choices. But be careful to read over all of the distractors first, because sometimes one or the other distractor could be technically true, but we are looking for the best answer. And if you can write on the test, actually cross out the eliminated distractors. You might not know what protodie is, and I know you don't because we made it up. But you do know celery isn't red, apples aren't blue, but lemons, they're yellow. So you want to try to use this technique when you might not have anything else to go on. You can look for the true information and the false information, and that'll help you eliminate some of your distractors. Now let's look at another example. Which one sticks out more to you? Yeah, probably B, right? That's because it's the longest answer. That's another flaw you'll find on tests. A lot of times the instructor will add more and more information to make the correct answer correct, but then they don't take the time to make the other distractors seem similar. So a lot of times when you have nothing else to go on, choosing the longest answer might be a good strategy. So now let's go to the next one. But this one might be a little bit more difficult. This flaw has to do with proper grammar. So read the stem of the question and take each of the distractors and try to finish the sentence. You see how A and B actually finish the stem of the question? That's a clue. But C and D, they don't really fit. So you can probably eliminate those and narrow down your choices. Now try this one. See how the 2 distractors, A, always, and D, never, they contain absolutes. And in life, absolutes are usually false. Think about it. Things are sometimes or usually one way or the other, but rarely are they always and never one way or the other. I mean, it could be as simple as saying it's always light during the day. Not really. During a solar eclipse, it's dark. Or 6 months out of the year in the Arctic Circle, it's dark. Either way, the point is that sometimes eliminating the absolutes, that might be a really good strategy. So look closely at the next one. With this one, we're going to learn 2 techniques. Let's talk about all the above and none of the above. So if this suddenly shows up on your test, it usually means one of 2 things. 1, it's the correct answer, Or 2, the test creator just got lazy and couldn't think of another distractor. With all of the above, if you can eliminate any of the distractors, then obviously all of the above is not going to work. Same thing with none of the above. If you can't include any of the distractors, then obviously none of the above isn't going to work either. So if you don't know enough to eliminate or include any of the distractors, what do? Just assume that it was put there because it is the right answer and go with that. But this question does demonstrate an even more important technique. It can almost guarantee you extra points if you're paying attention. So the stem of the question says, poppin' pennies rotate counterclockwise. 2 questions ago, it asked you to identify a characteristic of poppin' pennies, and rotating counterclockwise was one of the options. So if you marked it wrong, go back and get your extra points. Now, this is a good time to talk about changing your answer. Never, ever, ever change your answer. Your first instinct is usually a good one. The only time you should change your answer is 1, if you just found an answer on a test. 2, if you just remembered something and you are absolutely sure about it. Or 3, you looked and you see that you circled the wrong answer or you darkened the wrong bubble. Other than that, leave your answers alone. Do not change them. Now, let's talk about guessing. On most tests, guessing wrong gets you the same penalty as leaving something blank. So in these cases, just guess. Like on a question with 4 distractors, you have a 25% chance at getting it right if you guess. That's 25% more points than you would have had if you left the answers blank. So when you're running out of time, you only have 1 or 2 minutes left, choose your favorite distractor and mark that for all the rest of the test. Now, let me show you something that'll give you even more of an advantage. We're about to show you something up on the screen. And when you look at it, do what it says. Don't even think about it. Go. Around 80% of people picked number 3. And that's because your brain tends to eliminate the extremes, like 1 or 4. And teachers' brains tend to work the same way when they're making tests. They tend to choose C more often than the other distractors. So when you're running out of time and you're marking all of your tests, choosing C might be a good idea to go with. And finally, if you finish early, go over the test again. Check to see that you circled the right answer, that you darkened in the right bubble. At the very least, match up the Scantron to the test and make sure the numbers match. All right, guys, so that's enough for this lesson, but let's sum up some of the techniques that we learned. So that's it for Test Taking Skills at StudyMuffin.com. I'm Denise, and I will talk to you guys later.